Tired. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. Jessica is boring. I'm tired of you, Jessica.
I think it's less that she's boring. She's just so unhappy.
She is very unhappy. But here's the deal, y'all. When you're with someone and you think that you might kiss them, you might hook up with them, and they say they're tired, Poodle, what does that mean?
That means they're not interested.
That's what that means.
And it means to fuck off.
It really does.
It kind of means get out of my space.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the night.
I think he's the most interesting person there, but she really can't stand any of them. Jessica.
Wes?
I think for Jessica, Wes is the most interesting person there.
Yes.
And she's like, okay, well, I'll kind of entertain this and flirt with him because I really don't like anyone else.
You mean he is the best option for her to hook up with?
Yes, he is he is the only butter to her soggy toast. White bread toast, but it's boring.
But it is unsalted butter.
It's not even a compound butter.
No. It is.
It's just an unsalted butter with abs.
He's not a bad guy. He's he's handsome, but God, that personality.
You know, I think probably not for you, but in real life, Wes would be probably the person I would like to be around the most. I think we would have like a good conversation. He's kind of nerdy, but for reality TV, boring.
See, I still need more than that in my life.
This is why I end up having to pick you up in Victorville at 2 a.m.
But there's
Poodle needs excitement.
There's something to be found between Wes and Jake. There's something in the middle.
That's true.
And I don't know.
Below Dick.
This is below Dick.
Below Dick.
Compliments of Captain Lee's travel agency.
That's the name of this episode. Season 9, episode 8. We're halfway through.
Yeah, I think so.
We're usually
probably 16, 17 episodes.
16, 17, halfway through.
Probably 2 tell-alls. We're going to have a lot to tell, I believe.
There was intense moments that happened this episode, but there also wasn't a lot of moments in this episode, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I thought this, and this brings me to our, do we have any announcements before we jump in?
Y'all, you can go to our live shows. Go to our link tree. We've got
Linktree. That's it.
We got some numbers today, because most of our venues are a little bit bigger. Some are a little smaller, like y'all. If y'all want to see us in the ATL.
Oh, my God. I was shocked.
We're 80% sold out. So you better get on that shit.
We're going to have to talk to Chris about maybe getting another date. I know it's hard.
I don't know. I don't think. Remember, we couldn't because the other date was like on a fucking Tuesday night.
Maybe we can do a second show.
I hope they do it on Tuesday because that's perfect. On the weekend, I got bingo.
She goes to bed at 6.
Oh, that'd be good. Carl, do you think they'll do a 4 p.m. show?
She can go to Old Country Buffet after.
Exactly. We know what we can do.
I love their corn muffins.
Now, what corn muffins? We'll always come back around, y'all. We'll always come back around.
Y'all, I would say if you want those Atlanta tickets, you should have gotten them yesterday.
Yeah, so I would jump on that. And they're also Seattle.
And Seattle's
a bit, so anyway, y'all, all Portland, Philly, Boston, Nashville. We've got DC. We've got dates for you, and so we're excited to go to the Linktree link. Also, Sissy Christina, she really outdoes herself. Poodle just posted a meme on her Instagram. Today. Wait, what is today? Today's Tuesday. This is
2 days ago.
So yeah.
No, today's Wednesday.
Y'all, if you're not listening to us talk about Before the 90 Days, you might. If you haven't jumped into
Gino from Michigan.
Yeah, if you don't know 90 Day and you're just a below decker, you might want to jump in on this season because it is.
This is a season full of garbage pail kids.
Yeah. That's it.
They are.
They are.
If you were like Garbage Pail Kids that were cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. We just threw them out in the world.
Yes, I didn't love
Said,
Garbage
go find
Pail
love.
Kids. I didn't like the.
Did they scare you?
No, it's just so mean to Cabbage Patch. I love my Cabbage Patch Kids. Why do you want to make them just rough and
because they were
gross? You loved Garbage Pail Kids, didn't you?
Yes, because they were the outcasts.
Boy, that is...
and I understood them, and they understood me.
No, I wanted to be good, like Xavier, whatever.
Yeah, look what happened to you.
Yeah, I'm just a whore, too.
I know.
Just a dirty whore.
You know what? You wanted to be a Cabbage Patch Kid, but you were a Garbage Pail Kid inside.
Really was.
That's it.
I really was.
And I knew I was Garbage Pail
Kid. Was that Garbage Pail, the one that just smoked had all the cigarettes in their mouth? That was me.
I had a morbid fascination with them.
I could see
Some
that.
of them were really gross.
Some of them were really gross.
Like the one with snot, I remember.
So did Garbage Pail Kids, were those made by Cabbage Patch Kids or a totally different company?
I don't know.
Someone needs to do
this. Is so uninteresting to figuring out where they came from.
Somebody could do a documentary about that. People would watch it. Put that on Netflix.
People have a lot of time on their hands.
People do have a lot of time on their hands. Anyway, y'all. So I think that's it.
You want to talk about this episode?
Oh, you know what? I think since this is how we could probably maybe say this now.
Oh, it's official. This is the free feed, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a big announcement.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. We're doing another Gay Crappens crossover.
We're doing
for the holidays
a Gay Crappens crossover. We're recording this week.
We're doing with Ronnie and Ben from Watch What Crappens. We're doing another shitty Christmas movie to follow up last year's Holiday, a movie that still echoes in my soul.
So, as Ronnie said, sent us an email today. It's like, I just watched this piece of shit and I want to talk to y'all for 10 hours about it.
The movie we are going to have you watch, we're sorry in advance, is Candy Coated Christmas.
Guest starred the Pioneer Woman from Oklahoma
on Discovery Plus.
She's from Pawnee, and her son plays football at North Texas. He's the quarterback.
Her dead eyes really bother me.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Anyway, y'all,
I'm watching it late tonight.
That's going to drop the week of really late because we're getting back late. We're going to see West Side Story tonight.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'll have to watch it tomorrow night. Never mind.
Yeah. So, y'all, we'll give you a West Side Story report. Spoiler alert. It's wonderful. I'm
going to have a lot to say, I'm sure.
Are you going to cry more in David Archuleta or West Side Story?
That's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up.
I don't know. I've heard really good things.
You know what to expect though in West Side Story with David Archuleta blindsided with his voice of an angel,
and with that song about Jesus being not baby Jesus being all the colors.
Y'all, David Archuleta is touring, especially for our Dallas sissies.
You go see him.
He is singing with Turtle Creek Chorale. You go see that.
It's gonna be queer.
And when you meet him at the stage, you say, "Reality Gay sent me," and he'll say, "Who's that?"
Or he'll say, "Wait, is that queen who kept staring at me and crying and then locked eyes with me at one point and made me uncomfortable?"
You're like, "Yes."
And then made a jerk off symbol with his mouth.
Oh, that was me. Anyway, y'all,
I think that's it. Should we get into the show?
Let's jump into Poodle. What's your first tea bag?
My first tea bag is no one is happy on this boat.
They are miserable.
Yeah,
miserable.
And I think that happens. I think it is from Jess, is one of the kind of bringing down. And Raina hasn't been happy for a while. They both keep saying they're unhappy.
Yes.
And there's something also off about the... I think it's also Heather running the ship. It's not... You only feel like everyone's doing a job and there's not a lot of team camaraderie.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that way in the deck crew either. We hit an impasse.
It's interesting that I didn't think that this season could be more sad than Below Deck Med of the one we just watched.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
They all just seemed really sad.
Everyone was getting along at first, and now it's not that people aren't. Well, it is that they're not getting along, but there's no, and Captain Lee's dissatisfied, and both Jess and Raina are really in a bad place, both of them. And it brings down everything brings down the crew and the show.
No, I agree.
So it's interesting.
Because it's so, Rachel has been the least dramatic person, the least this whole
She's
trip.
been the light.
She really has. She's been like because she's in the kitchen in her own world doing her thing.
Her and Captain Lee.
And
Jake and Fraser kissing.
I hope that happens again.
Me
I don't
too.
know if it will.
What's your first one? I just needed to point that out because that's what I got out of this episode.
Well, speaking of, let's just talk about the whole Jake and Eddie and Raina and Wes thing of Jake kind of not. Basically, Jake is talking to Eddie saying, they give him shit all the time. And so Jake feels like he's
talking back.
Yeah, always getting talking back. Where
that's not true. Wes does a little bit. It's mostly Raina.
Yeah. And because Wes did say like his delivery is a little
that is true
harsh, and I think.
But did he say that in the moment or to him?
He said that in the moment,
right?
So not to him. Well, because Wes knows. Well, Wes actually thinks this is. Wes actually thinks that Raina. He says in his own words, I think. Because about basically they're just basically talking that Jake wants to be. Remember y'all? They had just had this fight about the slide and everything,
right? And
the guests could hear them, and Wes basically says, "I think she's overreacting.
Right?
It's not that bad." Quote: "It's really not that bad."
Right?
And in that moment, I agree with Wes. I think Wes doesn't say anything because he knows you're on a ship. And when you're even I've learned this in like the year or the season and a half of watching Below Deck. When you're on a ship, people have rank. So if someone gives you an order, you figure it out to the best of your ability.
Right.
It's not a hand-holding job. This isn't, we work.
Yeah, and I agree that Jake can be better in his delivery, but the worst thing you can do is be insubordinate. And they're giving her and later on, Eddie says that if you rolled your eyes at Captain Lee, you'd be out the boat.
Yeah.
So it is in a way, she doesn't realize how much she's getting away with.
Well, and then Raina ends up doing, y'all, here's a hint. When you're in a small space, like a boat, don't go to your room on speakerphone.
Yes,
and bitch about how terrible your Josh. And again, this is where Raina's talking about I'm not being respected.
Yeah,
and you know what we've said about when people say they're not
when
being
people throw around the term I'm being disrespected.
And honestly, and I'm sure there is some truth to that with her and Jake. We haven't seen everything, and Jake is blunt, but at the same time, it's
blunt.
Sorry, but it is you spot it, you got it, and that Raina's not respecting them. She's not. She is not like the way that she reacts to like when Jake talks to her. I still can't believe some of the shit she says to him. Like
get away from me.
Get away from me. I'm not. And cussing at him.
Yeah.
Like that is not how you speak to people that are your boss.
If you haven't even seen some of the previous things where if someone is slightly insubordinate to someone, they scream at you. It's the things that like Riley got in a lot of trouble for.
Yeah,
and Riley and some of the other female deckhands, especially, but the male deckhands will keep it inside.
Yeah.
To whatever end or to whatever problem that causes until there's an explosion.
What's your next tea bag?
My next one.
I like your hoodie.
Thank you. This is so old.
It
is weathered.
Is it cotton? It's so old that it looks kind of velour.
It's not.
And what I've decided,
velour.
I think you could wear. I think you
a
could
velour
pull
tracksuit.
Those velour track.
I love those.
I think it would. You could do it.
I'd almost feel too expensive for the room.
You never will be. Remember Garbage Pail Kids.
It's true. I am still that snot baby, y'all. Inside, I'm still that snot baby. The woman who took off her top with her father there. That was a lot.
That was an next one too.
I gotta ask.
I mean, at this point, I've seen everything with my father, but I don't want to see my mom's tits.
But was it why? What was the reason to take your top off to get in the hot tub? Is that a special feeling? I guess it is.
It probably feels. I mean, it feels better on your balls when you get in a hot tub than when you wear a suit.
I guess she knew she was going to be on camera. And
maybe, yeah. I mean, don't know. She's doing fine. Jake's flirting with her.
She said. It's like, you're a bit too young for me.
Yeah. I mean, but the dad's like, she's getting in there, and the dad's like, I don't want to see it. But back to me, and I'm just like, this is a very calm crew.
Yeah.
There's not really any crew.
It's been very boob-centric.
We haven't had a real, I mean, that one dinner. Oh, wait, I forgot about, golly, that seems like a lifetime ago, where the guy was screaming at the woman. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Golly.
No,
it was horrible.
That was pretty awful. What's your next one?
My next one is, okay, I think this is, sorry, y'all, everything is just, this is a heavy episode. I'm trying to how do we tell dick jokes? It's kind of hard on this episode. Now, Eddie and Raina, though, I want to talk about, I thought Eddie did a great job of talking to Raina when he pulled her aside.
Yeah.
And so basically he says he said, look, I heard what you were saying, because when she was in her room, y'all, she was saying how how Eddie and Jake are best friends, and she doesn't trust him, and yada yada. And Eddie's like, I heard all that, and you had some strong words. Just be careful what you say. And Raina says, I don't want to be the issue.
It's interesting.
I think I don't know. What do you think about that statement?
It's interesting because, and I'm sure she's having to code switch a lot. Every time that she interacts with everybody on the boat.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting when she does interact with Wes, she expects a complete simpatico.
And he doesn't always agree with her.
And he's just not giving it to her. And I think that's why she feels so alone on that boat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think it excuses, for me, it doesn't excuse her behavior to her superiors.
And what I loved about Eddie is that he gave her a concrete thing, because what he said,
because Jake doesn't do that.
He said, you don't listen.
Yeah.
You talk over people. And I think a lot of this to be honest, I think a lot of Raina's getting the brunt of it, but I do think a lot of the problem, honestly, it is a problem of the leadership. I think Eddie is just like, okay, Jake, here you go. I'm giving this to you.
Yeah.
But they're not teaching Jake of how you lead people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Eddie was like in prior seasons, but Eddie is really good talking to people. Like Malia was really good at talking to people.
No, she's been the best. She's been the best bosun.
But I think Eddie's doing a pretty good job of hearing what they want to say.
He's good at making himself look good, though.
That's true. Yeah. But Malia's really good because Malia gives specifics. She doesn't just talk in abstracts.
And Malia has an added benefit because she's a woman in power, and she's had to figure out a lot of ways to already disarm people before she gets in there.
And Jake just says, fix it, but he doesn't give them any tools of how.
He's the worst, and just from seeing previous seasons of Below Deck, I love it that we're talking about leadership and about how people should be good at leadership. You should see some of these bosuns on earlier seasons. They're assholes. You just do what they say.
You just do what they say.
Yeah, or first officer.
Well, I went to
or lead deckhand.
I was about 3 months ago. I was flying to Houston, and a plane got rerouted, and so I got stuck in Tampa. And I went to this leadership conference while I was there. And, it taught me so much.
Yeah.
And so I just know that leadership is it's
based on constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive criticism and listening when you want to listen, and then being right when you're right.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Let me know what that is.
Her name's Captain Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if you ever heard of her.
No, not familiar.
All right. Well, We had a sissy that said, did they go to that? Or did they?
I don't think they went to it, but no, the tickets were, she was doing a DJ set.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and someone tried to buy me tickets. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going. You can buy me tickets if you want. I'm not showing up.
Poodle's not showing up.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'll see you there. You'd just be sitting there in front of the expo.
Here.
And you'd like send me a message. You're like,
I do believe I found you.
it would be a Sarah McLachlan remix.
We are Bob. Let me Eddie.
Bound to the rhythm. Bound to the rhythm. Bound to the rhythm.
Let's get it started now.
You'd just be sitting there. And you're like, you message me. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in an hour. Nope. You're gonna have to enjoy fumbling towards ecstasy, the remix, without me.
Poor Sarah McLachlan.
I love Sarah McLachlan.
I know.
Glocklin. You said Glothlin.
That's how Sarah McLachlan. Glocklin?
L.A. McLachlan. L.A.
Easier last name. It's hard.
It's not. I think is it my turn?
Yeah, it is. You know what? But before we do that, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
I just need to start this next part with when Captain Lee, when he's with they're in the wheelhouse talking to the deck crew, and he says, "If you fuck up that slide one more time, I'll have someone's ass, whether it's one of you, two of you, three of you, or all of you. I'll have all your asses."
Let me guess.
I went somewhere.
Your TV kind of had a little static in it.
Yeah. And then I imagined all of them
left the deck.
And I imagined all of them presenting their asses like baboons to Captain Lee.
Just Jake,
and then
his ass had a mustache on it.
And then they each competed for prettiest ass to Captain Lee to chaw down on.
Wow. You didn't make my stomach turn and still
chaw down
on. Wow.
Anyway.
Tastes like chicken.
It don't.
No, it was, God, I don't want to be turned on when Captain Lee gets angry.
Ooh,
but I am, y'all. And I agree. If you think that too, you might want to process that because I know I need to.
Oh, he's so hot. Daddy.
Oh.
So I don't have the only other thing. I only have like one more.
Oh, well, I think I'm next. Can I talk about? Can we talk about Fraser and Heather and Jessica a little bit?
Yes.
So y'all, Fraser is full on told Heather. He was like, "We need someone else."
And later on, they're talking about her, and she just shows up,
and Heather goes, "I've got to pee so bad." So bad.
Now,
Poodle, have you had those situations? Y'all,
yes, always.
Poodle is the worst about it. He'll talk about somebody
and they'll just come up. Like it is a cosmic thing with me.
It really is.
I'll be talking shit about it, especially when I'm music directing something. I'm like, and I'm talking to the director, she's terrible. How are we going to get her to blah, blah, blah? Oh, hey, have you finished your break already? Hey. Yeah, no, we were just talking about the stage manager, how she needs to be better at her job. No, you're great. You're 100%. You're great. Yeah. Go take your break now. Go take your break. Anyway, as I was saying, what are you still doing around here?
I'm laughing because I've seen it.
Oh, yo.
And he covers it, but if you know Jake, you see his eyes get kind of wide.
That's how you know I'm caught like an animal in a trap. My eyes will be so wide when I'm talking to you. Like I've been,
and his smile gets so big, he looks like the joke when he was the Joker in the synchronized swimming pool.
When you almost have like shocked me. It is like that thing where you've trapped a marmoset, and there's no other way for him to get away.
What's a marmoset?
I think it's a rodent.
Really?
I just know it's like a
boy.
I when I was younger, I loved finding strange animal names.
That's fucking gay and pretentious.
Marmosets.
Marmoset.
Yeah. Anyway, Mama Set, Mama Sa, Mama Shaha.
Oh, they're cute little monkey things. They look like they're kind of bald.
Oh, so they're monkeys.
Well, I
thought they were. No one cares.
No one. Well, yes, it says marmoset and monkeys.
Okay, they're monkeys.
Look at that.
But you see its eyes.
Yeah, a little bit. They're a monkey species. Yeah.
Species.
Species. Yeah, they're species. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly. So there was one other. Let's see.
But I just want to say to that, just as foreshadowing, not this episode, but down the road, Heather says, like, I've tried everything with her.
Right.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, because I think next episode she could get the boot. But I want to point out the camera crew spending a lot of time at this dinner on watching Heather drink straight vodka.
A lot of time. Yeah.
And so this is foreshadowing, you guys. This is how Bravo is handling this incident.
Yeah, the crew leaves, y'all. Everybody leaves. And they the crew leaves. They have breakfast. Everything goes great. Jessica's mumbling, saying this is the last. She says, I wanted to say this real quick before we talk about the dinner.
Oh.
She full on says to Frasier, this is the last stew job I'm doing.
Oh, that's right. I meant to write that down.
This completely overwhelmed me. The things moved too quickly. Y'all, because she might be a hard worker, but I think she works at like a sloth pace. She's just like slower pace.
It's not even
a sloth.
It's not even.
Pace.
It's not even the pace. It is.
Well, I do think the pace on these is like bam, bam, bam. You're going. It is.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying. I don't know if the problem is just that. I think the problem is the quality of work.
Yes.
And what pride she does or does not take in it.
And she doesn't.
If y'all are in service, you kind of got to be like Fraser, obsessed, and Heather, obsessed with that kind of order, and you love doing it.
You have to love doing it, and you also have to be, it's this line of, and I don't mean this is, but I feel like one reason why people like me, my cubicle warrior job, is because I don't let them know what I'm feeling on the inside when I don't want to go fucking take their kid's backpack to Encino. I say...
You had to do that?
Once, like years ago. But I just say, okay, great.
Oh my God, I'd be so terrible at that.
I didn't mind doing that because I could get out of the office and listen to music and still get paid.
that is a strength because for me, I'm like Raina. I telegraph everything to you how I'm feeling in my face.
I think a lot of reasons. And now I'm not saying you put up with shit and just take it, because when I have my reviews, I'll say, oh, I would like to do this or that. I'll stand up, or I think I should get paid more.
Right.
Like that's when you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
But there are times that, I don't mean this the way it sounds. And I'm not saying to put up with it, but I'm saying your bosses don't care about how you feel.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't. And I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's the reality.
Right.
Some of them do. And we're getting better at that as a workforce and having a happy culture and everyone. Boating is not that. Yachting is not that. This is not that. You can tell this is and I know things are changing, but they don't. People that pay $150,000 to be on a yacht for a week, honestly, if I paid that much money to be on a yacht, this is me who likes to talk to everybody. If you're going through a rough time in your life, tell me when I get off the ship. I paid a lot of money to let my cares go.
And honestly, this is anything in the luxury service industry.
Yeah, anything in the luxury service vacation industry. So it's like for Jess, they want her to be, because a part of it's like, oh crap, they're just telling her to put on a happy face, and that's so shitty. I went, well, that kind of is part of the job here.
Yeah. I just wrote Jess is shitty. I'm done. I'm done.
She just needs to not be here. Yeah. Anyway, so
let's just talk about the elephant in the room.
Well, we would say the dinner is $19,000.
Tip.
Our tip is $19,000, and Captain Lee is pissed.
That's your last tea bag?
Pissed.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll talk about Captain Lee yelling at them later.
What?
He yells at them. He calls them all up there to the deck.
That's we're way past that.
I know, but we didn't talk about it, did we?
But I'm saying, is that a tea bag? That's how we do these.
Oh. I'm confused.
No, I mean, you're trying to throw details in that.
No, you're right.
We don't summarize these anymore.
Fine.
I mean, we can go back, but we can't do halves and halves.
Maybe I forgot. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. This has been all over the internet. If you read the Reddit boards or anything like that, what happens? Just to describe what happens, Heather is going to the bathroom with Raina, and Raina.
And this is
sees,
what you're talking about, the vodka drinking.
Yes,
foreshadowing.
that's what I was talking about. Production is really editing that.
Yeah.
And I think, and I have a feeling that at the tell-all, that's what's going to be said. That's going to be the Bravo line.
Yeah.
So they, and so I'm not making excuses or anything. I'm just saying that you could just tell the storytelling.
Yeah, you could tell it, yeah.
So, Raina sees Jake, and of course, they do not like one another. And she sees him, and she goes, "This N-word."
Yes, Heather.
And Heather, no,
well, Raina
says it to Jake.
Yeah,
or about Jake, I should say.
He's doing something stupid, and Raina and Heather are walking like into a building.
Yeah,
and Raina says this N-word,
and Heather repeats this N-word. Yes,
and they're talking about Jake.
And there's nothing in the moment, but we go back to the ship, and Heather and Jake are later are singing in the kind of the kind of galley area,
yeah. And Raina's
in the kitchen,
food, yeah.
and they're singing rap lyrics, and she kind of hears them rap lyrics. She's like, "You can't talk like that. You can't say the N-word either because you guys are really white and it's 2021."
I was confused when I watched it.
We talk about this. I had to explain it.
I thought that she said the N-word in the galley when she was rapping because they beeped out everything.
Nope.
And we went back and watched it, and none of them,
just for clarity,
none of the stars equivocate the N-word.
This was
so
her.
She's talking about.
Well, she was using this as a representation of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was basically saying, and she was doing a callback to, remember, you said this when I heard you. Jake saying, "No, she didn't," right there. Mm-hmm. "No, she didn't say that. I don't think he meant back then. He was saying it in the moment." And she's like, "Yeah, she did, blah, blah, blah." And Heather, now, this is weird. Heather, you guys, it was on camera. She said the N-word.
Yeah, she says, "I don't remember."
This is not something she should have done. I can't believe I have to say that. But this is not something she should have done. It's not something any white person in my experience should ever say.
Well, and it's not, but also too, there's this, I was watching Emmanuel Acko talk about on his YouTube channel. He talked, I forget which interview it was, but this was years ago.
Are you saying that name right?
Emmanuel Acko. I think that's how you say it.
A-C-O?
A-C-H-O.
Oh.
Acko. Emmanuel Acko. I think that's right.
It was Acho.
Maybe it's Acho.
Yeah.
But y'all, that uncomfortable conversation with the black band, that's great, by the way. Y'all should, that's wonderful. But anyway, they talk about like this generation of, this generation of like, especially younger white people that listen, or just kids that are people that are listening to listening to rap music where they say that word in black and black from black men in rap music and things like that and appropriating it. We're not here to like discuss all that. I will say watch. He's a great resource for that if you want to get educated about that. But I will say, like you said, full stop. Heather should know better.
She should not. She should not have said that. That's
shit.
Not good. I was
horrid.
shocked. I guess they aired it because Raina would have said something about it if they did not air it.
Yeah.
And
I was shocked too when she said it. I went, like I actually didn't think
kind of slapped you across the face.
Yeah. It's just,
and
you don't say that.
And there was a lot of defenders online saying, "Well, she was just repeating her. She was trying to get camaraderie." Y'all, you don't say it.
That's not how you get camaraderie.
You don't say it.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. Maybe if you have your own special relationship with somebody that's your best friend.
I don't know.
But this is Raina. This is someone who she's the boss over.
Yeah, she's not the boss over. No, she's just.
Or not, but I forgot. She's in a not that she's in a different department. Yeah, but still, they're working together. It's just not.
Yeah, and but basically, this is of course.
Heather doesn't remember saying it.
I don't know if I don't think I believe that.
I don't think. And Jake's like, well, she didn't say it, and I think
she didn't say it then.
I think some people are saying, they're like, oh, well, Jake's just defending her. Well, I think Jake's thinking right then she didn't say it. Unless they edited out something. Maybe, we don't know if Jake heard earlier. The tell-all will be interesting to hear about because it's going to be. I hope that she just accepts responsibility for it.
She's already put an iPhone notes apology out. So you can imagine how.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it. But
I haven't looked at it either.
But it apparently Raina has done an Instagram takedown and is accusing Captain Lee of being complicit and Eddie and everybody. So things are probably going to get bigger and more blown up. Yeah. Put a pin in this one, y'all. Things are gonna come out more about it.
Things are gonna come up much more about it. So that's kind of what happened with that. More to, and it'll be interesting. I think this could be, if they talk, I don't know if they'll talk about it more on this episodes or not, but it'll be, because Raina does talk about this with Fraser.
Yes. After the next day.
Yeah. The next day, Raina talks about it with Fraser. And then Raina ends up talking about it to Eddie. And I thought, it's a hard. I thought in some ways Eddie handled the conversation decently. In other ways, he didn't.
I don't think he handled it well at all. But it was almost like. But I kind of think.
I mean, he validated like her work ethic,
right? But. The fact that when she said Heather said the N-word,
he didn't say.
It wasn't a reaction like, what?
Yeah, that's where he was.
Why did she say what? In what context did this even happen?
Like, to me, like, I wouldn't be laying back in a bed holding my glass of wine going, oh, okay. I'd would sit up and be like, wait a minute.
Like, wait, where were you and how did this happen? Because this is something that I would need to talk to Captain Lee about.
Captain Sandy would want a report. And I would too. Sorry, y'all. That's a joke from last season when she was upset
but
about
it's just like, I would say, well, that's shitty. But let's talk about that. That's unacceptable. Let's talk about that. I need to know how this happened, when it happened, because this is something I need to be aware of. So Captain Lee asked me as first officer.
Because that's where I guess, and I should rephrase what I'm saying, the first part of his conversation I thought was good, and then his reaction to that, I went, right. You totally undercut everything you just said.
Yeah, and he didn't really understand where she was coming from.
No.
And this is the thing, you guys. None of the people on that boat are going to really be able to understand where Raina's coming from with this kind of stuff. With being caught with and some people on Reddit are saying things like, "Well, no one called her the N-word." That doesn't matter.
And even
it's
Wes,
just the fact.
Even Wes, we can't assume that all black people relate to other black. Because even Wes has said he doesn't have that experience because he grew up in a country that was 85% black. So it's a whole different experience. And I think you really nailed it when you're like, Raina feels very alone on this ship.
She does, and it's
does that excuse her?
No,
like rolling her eyes when Eddie talks.
Those
to her
are different things.
And that's a totally different thing. And do I think that she's the most respectful to the people she works with all the time?
Yeah.
No, I think I think not in this case, but in other cases, I've said before, Raina will create drama because she's a shit stirrer.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, I think they're almost treating it as like she's just starting other drama. I'm like, no, this is different. This is something we need to pay attention to.
I question why she wanted to be on this show. Because it seems like
it does seem like her and Jess from day one did not want to be here. And
right.
A lot of it changed after Jake lost interest in her and they didn't make out any. Remember, Jake and Raina made out.
Yeah. like the first or second episode.
But doesn't that seem like
eons ago? I want to bring up one thing. This is one thing I wrote down. One of the things about that Eddie conversation, I feel like that might have been refilmed.
Really?
Or reenacted because of the way Eddie just didn't. I
don't.
Really?
I don't. I think
no. I'm saying because everyone would have that reaction of what the fuck.
Well, because of that. I would think though, as somebody, if I was someone who was in a superior position in a boat, and I know that I'm on TV, if I reenacted, I would want to make sure that I would.
I agree, but I think this is the best they got.
If this is a reenactment, that's even shittier.
But I'm using the concept of him because this seems like this is such a subject that everyone's like, how are we going to handle this?
Yeah.
That's why I felt like that's why they were trying to show Heather as being Heather must have been drunk or whatever. And that's why I noticed with the editing.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there because even someone like the Eddie who's trying to play it cool, it seemed like he would have had more of a reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was what I was thinking about because they do have to do reenactments sometimes because either the camera doesn't catch something.
That's true. Well, also we don't know, like he acted as almost like he already knew about it.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know if they all like it. Again, we assume that Jake, when he was defending Heather, was just talking about them singing rap songs in the galley.
Yeah.
Or did everyone hear Raina and Heather say it out at the dinner?
It did not look the way it was filmed.
We have no idea.
Right.
So maybe Eddie heard that, and that's why I'm not defending it. I'm just saying this. I think production is doing, and honestly, I think probably you're right. Like with the vodka, it's almost like Bravo's kind of editing this in a not clear way, so we're confused.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but obviously there was no Watch What Happens Live right after this episode. It was a rerun.
Oh.
They know.
Yeah, they know. So
they know.
Yeah.
So, and you guys, a lot of people online have been complaining, how could Bravo have been so irresponsible here? It's Bravo.
Yeah, they don't
I know that.
Sadly.
I know that you guys think that some networks have a responsibility, and if all you had to know was to watch Andy Cohen's speech on Southern Charm the last season about we're all learning and we're all doing the work, right?
Yeah, y'all. Yeah.
It was the worst virtue signaling you've ever seen.
Do you think this was like Southern Charm was a whole other thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
think that, y'all, this was not an easy episode to watch. This is shitty when people say things like this on television.
It's
shitty when people say things like this in life.
Yeah, it's not even. I mean, yes, it's shitty. It's not even. It's deplorable. It's horrible. Yeah. So, but at least we're not on this ship because they are sad. They are just.
Yeah.
They're just, and on top of that, Captain Lee is pissed. That's my next teabag. Can I talk about that? Y'all, this deck crew just can't fucking get it together. They keep fucking up the slide. They have to rehearse the slide, and then Captain Lee is on the ship, and he calls Eddie up, and there's just like, I guess water
spots, yeah,
and which I guess is a big deal. I guess it's supposed to be ship shape, which means spotless, right?
You're just making up stuff.
I just got what ship shape means.
I guess it does.
Remember when they say something ship shape?
I do know the expression.
It's got to be the shape of a ship. I just got that. What is ship shape?
I think it's just that since it's a luxury yacht, it should be shined.
He wants it ship shaped.
Great.
Anyway,
that's not a verb.
Captain Lee says, basically, again, he goes, this is why I do love Captain Lee, because he's like, at the end of the day, this falls on Eddie.
Yeah.
This is about leadership. He's not conveying good leadership to his team, which is so true. And Eddie's like, and that's where he says, I'm going to be handing out plane tickets compliments of Captain Lee's travel agency.
So I'm interested to see what's going to happen next week because Raina is still talking about what happened with Heather the next day to every crew member.
Oh, you mean on next time? Yeah.
But did you notice that? She talked to Fraser. She talked to Jess. She did talk to
Jess about it.
And so it's I don't. I understand she's processing it, but I wonder how it's going to wind up. Is there going to be some type of apology?
Well, and I don't know. And some people said like, well, Raina just needs to say something and stand up for herself. And I'm like, well, but first of all, don't speak for her experience. And
right.
B, Heather, which does not look good on Heather, when Raina said that to her, again, it kind of is like Eddie's reaction. What would you say if someone said to you, well, Poodle, earlier when you said the N-word, well, how would you react?
I would say what?
Even if you were drunk, you probably would say like, you would be shocked.
I would say, oh my God, I can't believe I would say first of all, I would never say that when with someone. And I think I would say, I can't believe I said that. I am so sorry if that offended you. That's not who I am.
But also, wouldn't you say, I would say that too, but also you would say, what happened? When did this happen?
Right.
Give me the context. Can you tell me what
give me the context.
She didn't, if they did, they edited it out. She didn't ask like, when did I say this? What was said? Instead, she merely just said, I didn't say that. And then she went to her room and she said, Raina hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that was shitty.
Oh,
that was terrible.
I was like, that's a fucking terrible reaction.
That was terrible.
And so of course, when you have that reaction, Raina's not going to quote unquote stand up for herself and have direct conversation with somebody when she feels like she's not being heard.
But I'm surprised there wasn't I guess came so late. I'm surprised there wasn't Heather trying to apologize. Maybe that'll happen next episode.
And y'all, it has nothing to do with this. We're not Raina fans. She's kind of been like she's just not been happy this whole trip and just kind of, again, shit stirs. But this is beyond emotions, beyond. It's what it is.
This is straight up bad.
Anyway, it's not what we expect when we watch Below Deck, but it's what we got.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because the show obviously wanted to talk about this and discuss, and it's interesting that there was no Watch What Happens Live right afterwards.
You know what? It's such which it makes me feel for. It's basically, a lot of people that are black or of color bring up these situations, and then everyone glosses over it and acts like it shouldn't be a big deal, and we wonder why they don't
bring it up.
Why they don't bring it up. And this show, instead, Bravo maybe is trying to push it on, but they just indicated what happens to so many people of color in our society.
Right. And they
done, Bravo.
They do an after show every time.
Good job. Way to go. God.
It does seem like let's stick our heads in the sand on this one.
We're never going to be asked to be on Watch What Crappens.
Nope.
I don't need to be.
Nope.
I don't want to be.
It's just even to say Annie Cohen or someone even
like to me, I think that it's important to have a Watch What Happens Live after this episode specifically. We should meet this head on and address it. Take responsibility.
No, they ran pretty cowardly from it. Yeah, even though everyone's gonna be talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was to me the episode was pretty. Had everyone shook with especially what happened. But when I saw that there was no after show, I went, "Oh, that's what really."
Because they've had months to prepare for this.
Yeah, they knew.
Ugh, gross. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got.
That's all I've got.
God. Y'all.
Oh, I hate reality TV sometimes, guys.
Sometimes we don't like it, y'all, but it is what it is.
These fucking people.
You know what? Go watch some Sean Cody and get your mind.
or for women who don't enjoy watching gay porn. A lot of you do, which is great.
I think a lot of our listeners like gay porn.
I agree. Or you know what you can watch, or go watch some like Bob Ross with his paint some trees.
Yes, or Emmanuel Acho, if you want to do that and learn. But no matter what, just no matter where you are, take a breath. And this is just golly. Remember the days when Frasier and Jake were making out?
Fraser,
whatever.
Y'all, we will see you next time on the Below Dick. But for now, anchors are gay.